From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Jobs and growth are at stake.
Trade talks terminated. What President Trump is now saying about future discussions on trade with Canada and why right now they are frozen. Marching for justice, how a Northern Cheyenne community is advocating for a harsher penalty in the death of an 8-year-old boy. Plus, changing ice. What's next for Billings Ice Arena scene as one closes to make way for the new? Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Friday, October 24th. I'm Hailey Monaco here with Miller Robson. Miller, happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday, Hailey, and happy Friday, everybody, as we cruise on into the final weekend of October. We do have some changes in the forecast, and speaking of changes, the leaves are changing. We've been getting a lot of great photos in. This is from Robert from Riverfront Park. See the fall colors there reflecting in the lake, just absolutely spectacular. And we got another great day on the way to get out there and take some photos of those changing leaves. Now yesterday we were about 12 degrees above average. We're going to try to do it again today, maybe trying to push near 70, even a little bit closer today. And some areas may get there. Our low yesterday of 35, very seasonal. Top gust of 25 miles an hour, windy across the western foothills tonight through tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that as we go along this morning. It was a dry day yesterday. We do have some moisture in the forecast, some rain and snow as we get into the latter part of the weekend, first part of next week. So for the month and for the year, still pacing ahead in terms of our moisture totals. Temperatures across the area, we've got 36 in Miles City, 34 in Baker. Glendive, you're sitting at 35, 43 in Harleton. Down in Columbus, we're right at the freezing mark, 40 in Red Lodge, 45 in Livingston, 42 in Cody, 31 right now in Sheridan. Here in Billings, not a bad start. We're sitting at 45. Feels like 40. Humidity at 52%. Dew points at 28 degrees. Winds out of the southwest at about 10 miles an hour. A lot of sunshine today. Maybe a few more clouds as we get into the afternoon. By lunchtime, we'll be around 60. Heading home mid to upper 60s. And the winds are quiet right now. I mean, we just had a gust of 24 in Livingston, but those winds really going to start to pick up tonight through tomorrow. Tell you about that. We'll tell you about that system coming in that'll change things up by the end of the weekend.
All right, great day to get some yard work done.
Absolutely,
though.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Miller.
Okay.
And breaking overnight, trade talks with Canada now on ice. President Trump announced he's canceling negotiations with one of America's biggest allies over a Canadian TV ad opposing U.S. tariffs, featuring an address by former President Ronald Reagan. The escalation as the president hopes to cool trade tensions further east. Jared Hill has the latest.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports.
An ad from Ontario featuring parts of an address by former U.S. President Ronald Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Has apparently caught the ire of President Donald Trump. In a social media post overnight, Trump called the ad fake, declaring all trade negotiations are hereby terminated, citing a response from the Reagan Foundation claiming the video misrepresents Reagan's words. It's the latest escalation in a rift with Canada amid Trump's trade strategy imposing new tariffs and import limits. Canadian backlash helped clinch an election win for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Our relationship with the United States will never again be the same as it was.
Today's stalemate with America's neighbor to the north comes as President Trump gears up for tariff talks with the U.S.'s biggest economic rival in the east.
I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China.
The two expected to meet at an economic summit in South Korea next week. Earlier this month, the president threatened an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports. American soybean farmers caught in the middle as China has completely stopped buying from the U.S.
We thought that we would be having some trade tension, but we had no idea it would be this type of trade tension and this type of chaos.
Meanwhile, Canada working to clear the air as Carney sought to negotiate with Trump during a White House visit earlier this month. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Earlier this week, the Canadian Prime Minister said the country would seek to double its exports to countries other than the U.S., citing the pall of uncertainty caused by American tariffs. Now in southeastern Montana, the son, daughter-in-law, and 2 young grandchildren of an Illinois candidate for governor were killed in a helicopter crash near Ekalaka. According to Darren Bailey's gubernatorial campaign, Zach Bailey, his wife Kelsey, and their children, 12-year-old Veda Rose and 7-year-old Samuel, died when their helicopter went down in Carter County. Their 10-year-old son Finn was not on board. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of the crash. A heartbroken community brought their message to the streets of Lame Deer on Thursday, marching in honor of 8-year-old Marquez Deputy Ontiveros. He was shot and killed a year ago on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. Family members say this march isn't just about remembering the boy, it's about demanding justice and change to prevent another tragedy like his. Our Vanessa Willardson reports.
More than 50 people honored an 8-year-old boy Thursday morning with a march from one side of Lame Deer.
He was going to do big things.
To the other.
And that was stolen.
They were walking in honor of young Marquez Amias Dion Deputy Ontiveros, who was shot and killed last October.
It's just this huge hole, a huge part of us missing. There will always be an empty seat.
Now, a year later, Marquez's maternal grandmother, Michelle Shotgun, says the family is looking to the federal courts for a stronger form of justice.
I feel abandoned by the federal government because they were there a lot for us in the beginning, from the very moment they were there. And then we haven't heard from them.
Here at Northern Cheyenne Court, the shooter was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. For this family, that sentence is not enough.
That is not justice for him. You know, I don't know what that looks like, but 4.5 years is not it.
The tribal court is limited on how long of a sentence they can give, and they did hand out the highest penalty. Now it's Shotgun's hope that once the 4.5 years are up, federal law will step in to enforce longer prison time.
And so this walk is maybe if they see us, you know, hear us, maybe they will move faster.
In Lame Deer, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
Vanessa, thank you. Now, the FBI could still file charges in this case, but due to the government shutdown, officials tell us they're only focusing on national security and essential public safety questions for now. Meanwhile, a Billings man who killed a motorcyclist while drunk learned his sentence on Thursday. The crash took the life of a decorated U.S. Marine and father of 5 in July of 2022 on Molt Road. But yesterday, Kevin Walters' attorneys asked for no prison time in exchange for payments to the victim's family. Our David J. was in the courtroom.
Judge Ashley Harada sentenced Kevin Welter to 20 years in the Montana State Prison with 10 suspended for vehicular homicide while under the influence in the death of Aaron Lertz in July of 2022. It's unprecedented because Welter's lawyers asked for no prison sentences in exchange for paying annuities to Lertz's surviving children.
Money in exchange for taking a life, but only on the condition that he walks free here today. That is an incredibly alarming ultimatum, and it has absolutely no place in the criminal justice system.
Judge Harada acknowledged that as she was being asked to allow for $250,000 per child to be considered as the best way to pay for his crime rather than put Welter in prison.
Why would they bend me over a barrel and say, Judge, we have money, you can't put me in prison, or I'm not going to pay these poor children who have lost everything.
But Welter's attorney continued to argue his case.
What we're asking for is not beyond the payout.
It is. The Rude case is not good precedent.
Several of Lertz's family took the stand and spoke directly to the offer of money as restitution, including Aaron's mother.
And because you have money, and doesn't mean that you can just pay your way out of what you have done. You know what you've done, and I think you need to take responsibility.
Billings police say Welter made a left turn in his vehicle in front of Lertz on his motorcycle. Welter's blood alcohol concentration was 3 times over the legal limit. While Judge Harada did not give either side what they requested in sentencing,
I can't disagree with what the judge did.
This decision ends the court's involvement in the criminal case.
There's 2 families that will never be the same.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
David, thank you. New on Montana this morning, a Billings police officer is being recognized for heroic actions this week, earning a prestigious honor. Officer Shane Schaffer earned a Medal of Valor yesterday after police say he disregarded his own safety to help save the lives of a father and daughter at Lake Elmo earlier this summer. In a Facebook post, Billings police say his courage and selflessness reflect great credit upon himself, the Billings Police Department, and the city of Billings. Well, the Centennial Ice Arena in the Heights is skating toward its final days. It'll close once the new Signal Peak Energy Arena opens at Amon Park. And now there's a new face ready to lead the city's next chapter on ice with a new general manager. Our Charlie Kleps explains.
Exciting times on the horizon.
This a beautiful two-sheet rink, nothing like this in Montana.
At the Signal Peak Ice Arena, with construction steadily coming along.
It's going to be a beautiful diamond here for Billings.
And now that diamond, which is expected to open in the spring of 2026, officially has a new general manager.
I grew up here playing. It's kind of nice being full fruition coming back.
That's Billings Rays Jeff Bloomer, who has spent the last decade helping with professional hockey teams around the U.S., but first began right here at Metra, coaching junior programs like the Billings Bulls.
I was an assistant coach for the Great Falls Americans, and then I got hired by the Bulls to be an assistant.
All reasons why Bloomer is excited to improve conditions for the youth hockey program and confirming a junior team is coming back as well.
This is going to be great, especially in this area with the soccer, the basketball. We've got the restaurants, we've got the hotels.
It won't be long until those ice sport athletes get their chance to test out the new ice that will eventually be behind me here at the Signal Peak Energy Arena. But it does raise questions into the future of Centennial Ice Arena in the Billings Heights.
Once we open up, they will shut down their ice operations, and their ice operations, their youth league, their adult leagues, are planning on moving over here.
That plan was confirmed by current Billings Amateur Hockey League President Monica Anderson Thursday.
There's too much ice demand for our current ice supply in Billings.
Treasurer Alex Pacici with the Yellowstone Ice Foundation, that's the nonprofit overseeing the Signal Peak Arena, says it's a decision to help ice sports grow.
I think that's why Centennial decides to close its doors, is so we can grow in this new facility and start to grow all the programming that way.
But it does come amidst uncertain times for the Centennial. Former facility director Sean Gilmore was charged Tuesday with embezzling more than $15,000 from the nonprofit, which allegedly included payments at a strip club in Three Forks.
We are two completely separate entities. The Yellowstone Ice Foundation is no way associated with the Billings Amateur Hockey League.
But Pacici says none of that will affect the operations at Signal Peak.
Solely focused on developing and operating Signal Peak Energy Arena, which we're standing in today.
A facility adding to a growing community that remains full steam ahead.
It's going to be good for us. It's going to be good for the town. It's going to be good for the state.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.